Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. You're looking at Brian's engine right here. Hey Brian, I just got the crank in and silky smooth. 20 over, 20 under on the mains, 20 under on the rods. And give me a couple days and I'll get your engine finished up. I got to get the end play of the crank checked next, and then I will get your cam in there and everything, and it won't be long now, so just hang in there. It's coming along. And let's go over here and take a look at Mark's engine. And been having some trouble with some customers with engines lately. It's been kind of ridiculous, but alright, Mark, here is your engine. I have been trying to get a hold of you for almost a month now. You're way behind on your bill. Yeah, I need to hear from you pretty soon. I'm going to take your engine, put it in storage for a while. If you do eventually pay your bill, I'll work on it again, but it may be a while. So, guys, please don't ask me to build an engine and then not pay for it. So I've got this L head here that's way behind. That Hercules motor that I was doing, gave that guy the bill. He was a local guy right down the street from me, and gave him the bill, and he was whining like a baby. Stiffed me for 600 bucks. Sadly, I gave him the engine, you know, just on good faith, thinking he would pay his bill, and he stiffed me for 600. So not really interested in doing those kind of jobs anymore. If you, like I say, if you don't want to pay for your engine, please don't ask me to do it. No problem with Brian, he's okay. I've got Lou still on the SIP. I'm trying to get some time to get him board 60 over. Lou, no problems with you either. I do have, let's go back this way, kind of all over today. Here is Scott's 6-cylinder. Like I say, I was going to get to that pretty soon. Scott is, you know, the one in a million kind of customer. He's the only guy, you know, who understands what things cost. He's way ahead of me on funds, so I feel bad not working on him full time, but I did have to get some engines out, and I'm going to put the non-paying engines to the side and get jamming on Scott's Scrambler, because he deserves to be treated much better than the non-paying engine customers. So more coming on the Scrambler soon, because I'm going to get on that almost full time very shortly. Okay guys, here is my Dana 70, and what you're looking at there are 373 gears in a very early 1/2-inch pinion offset Dana 70. Everybody out in the ring and pinion world told me it couldn't be done. Well, you're looking at a perfect pattern on 373 gears. It's just kind of mocked up in there now. I still got to take it out, put all the bolts in. I've got setup bearings on the carrier and on the pinion. But the 373 gears are in there. They do fit. I doubt there's anybody else trying to stuff 373s in an early 70s, so I didn't go over it too much. But if anybody's doing it and they need to know how it was done, I can share that with you, but I don't want to go over all the steps that it took. It wasn't too bad, but I don't want to go over that. Just take too much time, and like I say, there's not many people probably doing something like that. So this will get buttoned up shortly, and I am working a little bit on the Dana 44. I've got a lot of stuff cut off the housing, and I'll show you that. I don't know if we'll get to that today. It's pouring rain out, and I don't want to go back in the other shop just yet. But if I get a chance, I'll show you that next. Okay guys, a little bit about the Dana 44. Here is the new carrier for the 373s. It's very hard to get a 19 spline. This 19 spline spider gear a carrier, and they make this 30 spline carrier, and I think you can see there I put a bushing there, and I think you can see that when I put a bushing on each end. A lot of times you will buy a carrier, they'll tell you it's a 19 spline carrier and it'll come bushed. So it's kind of hard to find it, but don't be afraid to buy a standard 30 spline carrier and just put some bushings in there. And let's see if we can. Okay. You got to make sure you leave a little clearance for oil in there and stuff, and make sure your spider gear turns. But not too hard to make bushings for that, and it works fine. You could turn a 30 into a 19. On this particular Jeep, I think I'm just going to reuse the old spider gears, and I'm not going to put lockers in this one. There is a locker available for the 4-pin 70, and there's, you know, easily one available for the 19 spline 44. But I think I'm just going to go with some open differentials on this one, not worry about lockers. And like I say, the 44, have everything I need to get it set up. There is the 373 gear, and I have everything I need to get that set up, but I am going to cut the housing first and get it shortened before I set up the center section. Okay guys, a little more progress on the 44. I got all the bits off it. Original spring pads, shock mounts, steering stops are junk, and here it sits. I took some spring mounts off of another axle, junk axle, because as you can see, they have to go around the housing. This housing is a little bigger, and that'll fit under there still like that. It causes the axle to just shift over about a ½ an inch, not a big deal. This first line is how far this knuckle ball goes into the housing. So this is it right here. You can see they welded it here. That goes in that far. We make our first rough cut here. Our finished cut will probably be somewhere in here, but we'll make our first cut here, and then we'll stick this in the lathe and we'll cut that. It's easier to cut that in the lathe than it is, you know, just with a grinder here. On my last 44 I did for the snowblower Jeep, I took the tubes out. I cut the plugs out here. I pulled the tube out. That's a lot of work. It works out just fine to cut that and pull that guy out. So same thing over here. This intersection goes in this far. We'll make our first cut here, and then we'll tickle the material away till we're somewhere in there and we get it right. Again, you can see why the jig is so important. We'll put this knuckle right over the pins, and we know we'll be in the right place. We'll measure this angle, and we know we'll get our tilt like that. We know we'll get that right as well. So I don't have anybody to film, and I don't know how good it's going to be on the tripod, but we'll just cut those off roughly and then get these out next. I don't know if I'll have time to do that today, but that's the next step, and we'll get this guy shortened up, set the center section up, and then we'll make the axles next. So more to come on the 44. Okay guys, we're going to end this one with Brian's engine here. Crank is in, end play is set, camshaft is in, tappets are in, and valves are going, there's the valves, and we'll get some new springs, and we'll put the keepers in there and adjust the valve clearance for you. Camshaft that was in that Chinese engine you sent me, Brian, was in real good shape. It had a new gear on it, and the crank gear was in good shape. I've got you some brass core plugs in there, and pistons are going to go in next. I have the 60 over pistons numbered, and I have the 20 rod bearings, and we'll get everything put together with the rods, get everything assembled and put in there. And like I say, it'll just be a couple days. Brian will be ready to ship this back to you. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.